Hello everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Hoop Room at Hoopsters, the League of Action Heroes. As you are aware, we try our best to address topics that are relevant and provide answers to questions that many are seeking but are afraid to ask. We take great pride in the fact that we bring to you domain experts who have been there and done that, for we believe that there is no substitute to experience. And there is a lot to learn from them, and they have a lot to share without holding back on the reality. Today we bring to you Arvind Jyot Sabhaney, Chairman and CEO of Team I, the Entertainment and Media Institute. He is also the founder of Zero In, an event management company, and the founder of Karnataka Event Management Association. He's been in the business of event management and training for nearly 3 decades, if not more, and is based out of Bangalore. We'll be discussing the scenes behind event management. This is a Hoopster special. Welcome to the show, Arvind, and thanks for agreeing to the invite. And the first question I have for everybody is, why did you agree to come on the show?
Superb, Bala. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here. Maybe you want to spotlight the two of us so that it looks all right on Facebook, otherwise it's going to look like a little mess. Good question to the audience on Zoom, on Facebook. What is the reason for you being here, and what do you expect to learn or to contribute in the next 1 hour? Is that the question, Bala?
It's not really the question. I know you'll contribute. I know what you'll contribute. So I'm not even worrying about that. I just want to know what your thoughts when I called you and you agreed to it. You said yes. Why?
Why? In order of priority, I think you're an absolutely great human being, Bala. I have the utmost regard for you. And when you call me, I cannot say no. But having said that, event management is something that I breathe, I live, I experience morning to evening of the entire life that I've led. And if anybody calls me for a class or a course or a discourse on event management, I will put up a hand because I would love to talk about my experiences. And I think the young people of today should know more about event management. So anything to do with event management, I'm available for anybody. Age no bar, caste, creed, sex no bar. I'm available.
Thanks, Arvind. That's interesting to put things in. And yes, I know the passion you have. I remember meeting you years back, first time I met you, near the Double Road or Richmond Road circle, somewhere there, upstairs. Yeah, I remember those days. Okay, let's begin with the basic question. What is an event? And what does event management mean?
Wow. That's really basic, and I'm going to make it really, really complicated. Okay, my answer has to be very complicated, and my answer to that question is, what is an event, right? And that is your question. So the event is a happening. Okay, this is an event. It's an happening. Okay, which has to get completed in a certain period of time. It has to get completed in a certain period of time. It has to have an audience who pay or don't pay. That's not the criteria. And the purpose of any event is to communicate a message. I'm going to repeat this. The purpose and the definition of an event is somewhere where you're communicating a message to an audience who is interested in listening to you and who really wants to be there. Using some unconventional methods, ideally, and that would be a perfect event.
And what does event management mean?
Managing this event. Today, you are the event manager. I am the artist. In every event, there is one event manager who is supported by an entire team of people. There are artists, there's a lot of production. Production today doesn't mean the conventional production because we are in a virtual space, and production today means that you ensure that the right people are seen on the screen at any point of time, be it here on the Zoom room or on Facebook, how it really works. So event management is managing all these little things. Depending on the event, be it a wedding, be it a birthday party, be it a corporate event, be it a band, be it an artist, be it a singer, be it a DJ, be it a pub, all right? There are so many little things that go into an event. And by event manager or managing this event is a combination of a lot of things and a lot of people for which you require the skills to be able to manage teams of people, right? To be able to communicate correctly and properly and in the written format with all these people.
You said the smallest things. What's the smallest thing you can think of in an event?
The smallest thing in an event is, so when you walk into an event, and let's talk about an in-person on-ground event, right? The smallest thing is when you enter, is somebody there to receive you? Is somebody there to check that you have registered? And if you have not, what is the kind of courtesy that the person at the reception is offering? I think courtesy being the smallest part of event management.
It's very interesting. I didn't expect that answer. Okay, let's get certain basics out of the way before we get to the hardcore subject. Tell us a bit about Zero In.
Well, Zero In is my lifeline, is the umbrella company that runs a lot of our brands. Zero In was started about 29 years ago, has done about 4,000 events in this period of 29 years. Mainly corporate events is what we do. We have done events across India, a lot of events in the UAE, and one event in New York. That's what we have done. In the last 10 years, we have also started developing our own event intellectual properties. We do a lot of work in that space. To quickly explain to everybody, intellectual property in events is you have an idea, you sit and work on that idea, put it out into the marketplace. Any event requires participants, it requires exhibitors, it requires sponsors. You go out into the market and you get all of these people. So we have developed about 6 events over the last 10 years. I'll quickly talk about 1 or 2 of them with your permission, Bala. One is Driven. Driven is an all-woman car rally that we have done 4 versions of, which you were a part of in the early days, Bala. Then we have done a marathon of DJs called the DJ Amathon, which has entered the Limca Book of Records. We also do a league between corporates called the Ultimate Corporate League, which has got 4 non-conventional sport, as I would like to call them. It's got go-karting, paintball, 10-pin bowling, and 8-over cricket. But very interesting event that we have come up with, and Shivangi Chabra and Vivek Moore are here with me today, is espousal. Espousal is something that we developed when the pandemic first started. And espousal is the world's first online wedding expo. You have been a part of a version of this also, Bala, where you came in as a speaker. And it has been absolutely phenomenal, the way espousal has. We did it for India in September, bang in the middle of the pandemic in 2020. And then in March of this year, we did it for South Africa. And now espousal has gone international. We're doing an international version early 2022. So that's what we do at Zero In.
That's fascinating. You come a long way with it. It's nice. And that feels good. Okay, then you started this institute. And you always had an institute. You know, I don't know whether institute led to Zero In or Zero In led to institute. I'm not sure about the path there. But what does this institute called TMI do?
Oh, TMI is a baby that I have nurtured over almost 20 years now. Why the institute? And I'm going to be very candid with my answer, Bala.
I want you to be. That's the whole idea.
When we would go out into the market as event managers, and don't mind my language, But a lot of clients, okay, would say, event manager hai, sala chor hai, okay? So, because a lot of fly-by-night operators have been there over this time, people who would take your money, your advance, and go away and not finish your event. And this really, got my goat. And I said to myself, I have to change this industry. I have to bring in that element of respect for an event manager. And that's the only way that can be done, I believe, Bala, is by education, right? And we have so many, or will have so many event managers with so much of education. And luckily for me, being who I am and what I am, I know a lot of these people. I would proudly state that I perhaps know every event manager in the country. Yeah. So we started off the school. It was a very simple model. It still is a very simple model. There is a need for qualified event managers in the vertical called event management. There is a set of people who have the knowledge, who come and teach. And there is a set of people who require these qualified people. So Team I is only a moderator. Okay, Team I brings students in, Team I brings faculty in. The entire curriculum that we have is vetted by industry experts like yourself, depending on which part of the curriculum. We have 22 modules, so there's a lot of work that we make the students of Team I do over the 1 year that they spend with us. They learn a lot. We have a 50% theory and a 50% practical module, which means that they're sitting in class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. They're doing projects. Right now, as I speak to you, we have students at the IKFW, which is the India Kid Fashion Week, which is going on somewhere in Bangalore. On Sunday, they're going to be a part of a colors television event, okay, where they're going to be moderating the event. So they learn a lot in the practical aspect.
That's interesting. And with एक तो सीधा साला चोर है one aspect of what the people thought about you, and then there's a lot of insecurity, a lot of ego in your egos, and I would call insecurity more than anything else in your business. So how did you manage to bring about an association, the two of Karnataka Association of Event Managers?
Yeah, this is also further to my love for the industry, and I will not put down any other reason other than this four-letter word called love. For the industry called event management, I really want this industry to thrive, and it will thrive. There is no doubt. It is thriving. People are getting huge salaries, and there's huge money in this entire thing. But then we said that there are event managers, and then there are event managers. And there are a lot of people who need to be with other event managers for their personal growth. And unfortunately, the problem has always been, like every other industry, we look at every other event manager as competition, right? And I said that the day we are able to collaborate instead of compete, right, we will be able to take this industry to another level. And that's exactly why we started off. Sanjeev Kapoor from Scorpio Events and myself got together, and we said we got to take event management to another level. We are already running an institute. Let's set up the association. And very proudly, I'll say we have 80 of the finest event managers in Karnataka, specifically from Bangalore, who are a part of the association as of right now. And I'm certain by this time next year, we will be at 200. Okay.
Oh.
The association does a lot of work for its members. The members are extremely happy with the kind of work that goes into it, and it's really phenomenal. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, before I come to the basic question, you said the background that you have represents Team I colors. For me, it reminds of a color bar in our early days of filmmaking and videos especially. So what do the colors represent?
So every one of the bars is an I. And I stands for the individual in the team. And therefore the name Team I, the Entertainment and Media Institute, where we are always seeking the individual who can be a part of the team. And the color bars is for the various kinds of people who come and do event management. We are all brown, basically in color, but we have blacks, we have whites, we have yellows, we have greens. Okay, we have North Indian, South Indian, East Indian, West Indian, and we have all kinds of people who come in over here. And sex, age, color, caste, all of this is of no bar, okay? So that's the way it works. That's the way it works, yeah. So we invite people to come and be a part of event management. We have only one criteria, Bala, and that criteria is called passion.
How much of it do you find out? I'll come to the question later.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I want
Yes,
you to
I will
ask
yeah, I will ask you as we go by. Okay, now we're into the serious part of the whole thing with all introduction. 30 years back, when people didn't know much about event management, okay, one corporate launch, we used to do a lot of these corporate launches, product launch. But beyond that, no big deal. It wasn't anything hot. I remember when DNA came with the first big event, we also wow, so something like this. But I said that, how did you manage to enter this event? What made you get into it? Didn't your parents hammer the hell out of you?
That's a personal question, but yeah, I'm happy to answer it after all these years. I did my engineering way back in life, right? And I completed my engineering, and I was that rebel child, right? Very rebellious about all the things that I did. And I was looking around, and I found a couple of jobs, and I was not happy with the kind of money that I was going to be getting in those jobs. And the way back then, it was $350, $600, $700 a month. And I said to myself, hey, money being a very important criteria in life, right? We got to do something. And I'm wild, I'm mad, I'm crazy. A lot of people call me. Just today in the morning, somebody was saying that, hey, you think you need to go and see a shrink, but that's okay. And I looked at this entire industry, Bala, on a very serious note, I looked at this entire industry. And I said to myself, I have to be here. I was always a party animal. I would always go out drinking, pubbing, doing all of those things. And I said to myself, I have to be here. But once I got in, then I realized that, hey, it's not about drinking, pubbing, DJing, music. There's a lot more to it. So we got into the corporate space. I personally am a corporate event manager. I love the entire corporate space. I love the way the entire process that happens in a corporate. And doing engineering was a very, very large boon to me. And I must thank my parents for pushing me into studying a little bit. Whatever I am today as an event manager, I may not be the best, but I'm sure I'm among the finest, if not the best. Yeah, we do a lot of process-oriented work. Everything that we do at Zero In or Team I has got a lot of process, a lot of documentation, a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of thought process that goes into it before a decision is made. Today, luckily...
Sorry, go ahead, sorry.
No worry.
Yeah, you're saying something.
So I said, luckily for the kind of people who are associated and who are a part of the agency, like Vivek Moore, who's very senior person, Shivangi Chabra is here. All that we need to do is to create a document, okay? However small or large the event is, maybe a birthday party in the pandemic for 20 people, or a wedding for 2,000 people, or a corporate for 8,000 people. All we need to do is to create a document, who does what, have 100 people over there, and the event will get executed. I think the base of entire thing called event management is process and documentation.
I like the way you politically balance between parents and children and said, daru pina tabhi event management, but I'm glad my parents put me into engineering, which is very nice. Yeah. Because you please both the sides of the coin. Okay. Right. How has event management changed over the last 3 decades?
Whoa. And I'm now going to blow my own trumpet, Bala, and I was waiting for this opportunity.
Please do that.
Yeah. So I think I have been very largely instrumental in making event management into a recognized vertical. Okay, in terms of the school that we run, in terms of an association that we run, in terms of a lot of work that has gone in. Earlier, it was just, I'll tell you a typical story. Guy has finished his 12th or finished his degree, and he's got a few subjects left over, and he goes and tells his father, "Hey, Papa, 50,000 rupiya diyo, mere ko event manager banne ka hai, mere ko idea hai." So the papa will say, any case, 50,000 bucks, he'll give it to his son, daughter, whoever, and that guy will go and try and do an event, and he'll go and lose all that money. Then after 3 months, he goes back to his father and says, "Papa, ek aur idea hai, lakh rupiya do, wo 50,000 bhi banayenge." So they go and do an event all over again. Now there is 1.5 lakhs that has been put in, but they get 50,000 back, but they are still at -1 lakh. So it's like a drug, right? It's like a drug. And then you say that, hey, let me do my third event, and so on and so forth, right? So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, go ahead. How has things changed?
Yeah, so this is the way event management was, okay? When it first came into this country or anywhere in the world, we are not far behind or maybe ahead than a lot of the world in terms of tech. Thanks to people like yourself, Bala, the amount of technology in events that we do in India is way beyond a lot of people. And I'm going to give you a few examples. So slowly event management graduated, right? And today we talk about, let me quickly talk about Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi. I think he is event manager personified. I'm not talking about his political, and I'm not getting into that part, and I won't, okay? But insofar as event management is concerned, hats off to that man. He sleeps 3 hours a day. I sleep 3 hours a day. Okay. So that's the kind of person who can be a true event manager, who's able to think on their feet and physically sound all the time, mentally sound all the time, right? That is what makes an event manager. And this thing graduated. And then we started having political events. We have religious events. We have PR events. We have events for the pharmaceutical industry. We have events for the education industry. And slowly the entire space of event management grew so beautifully, right? Today at TMI, we teach event management. But I'm telling you, mark my words, Bala, in 5 years, we will be teaching pharmacy events. Or we'll be teaching, people will be specializing in, look at the IPL, yeah? Look at the IPL, look at sports events, okay? And in sports events, we're going to get into cricket events, and we're going to get into hockey events, and this is all going to happen. And I'm not saying it's going to happen in India. This doesn't happen anywhere in the world as we speak, okay? But is going to happen across the world, and India will be the leader. Let me quickly move on and talk about this phase of 18 months that the world has had, right? Virtual events.
Arvind, I'll come back to that. That's a very specific discussion I want on that.
Okay.
A lot of youngsters today want to get into event management, okay? They think it's very glamorous, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. What is your advice to them? What are the prerequisites to be a event manager or run a company or whatever?
Point number 1, Bala, and this is for all the people listening in. Event management is not glamorous. I'm going to repeat that. Event management is not glamorous. Glamour is just a byproduct of event management, right? Glamour is just a byproduct. The kind of work you have to be, like I tell all the people who come for an interview to TMI, or people like Shivangi who come to Zero In to make a career, I only say one thing to them. You have to be a little crazy. And this is not a 9-to-5 job. This is a 24/7 job, right? And there's a lot of hard work, mental hard work, physical hard work, okay? And all your faculties, all your brain cells have to be focused and concentrated on the job in hand. So there are no parents, and there is no husband and boyfriend and girlfriend and and all of that. Okay, there's a lot of work, especially in the beginning years. And I know a lot of people, women, men, a lot of women who are into event management who have made such huge successes out of themselves because they have given it the first 5 years of their life. Okay, and when I mean with given it 5 years of your life, you have given it heart and soul, right? If you want a 9 to 5 job, please do not join event management. But if you want a different day every day, please come to event management. There are no 2 days that are alike, okay? And every day is different.
You said the same things I say when the people talk about filmmaking. I use the exact words too. Anyway, so just for fun's sake, okay, how have the clients changed over years?
Clients
I'm sure they're a hilarious episode, okay?
The good part about running an institute like ours today is that, and I'm going to proudly state that, there is a thing in corporate today called fund manager. A lot of students have actually moved from event management into the corporate side, and they are the fund managers. So they talk to event managers sitting inside the corporate. So corporates have become very smart. The whole fly-by-night business is over for a lot of reasons, right? Today, everybody knows the cost of a flex, cost of a AV, cost of a LED wall, cost of an artist, cost of everything. See, earlier, the event manager would hike up these costs and then make their money and then charge a management fee of 15-20% at the bottom line. Okay, that is what your typical cost sheet looked like. But today, I don't think an event manager makes anywhere more than 8 to 15% on an overall billing, simply because the client has become very smart. Everybody knows the rates. Google has gone and made it simple, right? Today, you want to hire Shah Rukh Khan, don't worry, you can do it. But let an event manager do it because that's his job. And believe me, he'll get you a better rate, okay? You want to have a wedding, you want to go to a hotel, you want to hire the Ritz-Carlton, for example, right? The Ritz-Carlton will give you a rate, but believe me, and I shouldn't be saying this on a recorded live program, but go to an event manager. The chances are you will get something better, okay? And the event manager will do a very good job of it. Because the job of the event manager is to be connected to all verticals of the business, right? And he's going to be getting you very good rates. Sorry, she is going to be getting you very good rates.
Okay, I don't know if people are going to talking of sexism here, but that's okay. How has technology evolved?
How has technology evolved?
Evolved.
See, in terms of the basic tech, in terms of our sound, our light, our stages, our AV screen, our photography, and all the entire gamut of activities that you take care of at 4C, that has evolved automatically, right? So that's a part of evolution. But here I want to talk about virtual events. May I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next question would have been anyway, how has technology come into play in this COVID situation?
Yeah, it's humongous. It's huge. Okay. What would have not happened? See, this tech has always been available. It is the usage of the tech that makes the tech better, right? The more you use technology, the more photographs you take, the better your camera becomes, right? The more LED walls you use, the more better the LED wall becomes. You have 4P, 5P, etc. And things that you have outside, you have LEDs that work in the sun, for heaven's sake, right? Okay, this is tech that we never even dreamt about 10, 15 years ago, Bala, you and me, right? Today you have the IPL running and you have all these LEDs running and it's broad daylight. Man, for heaven's sake, that's really superb. That's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of tech that is going on. But coming to the virtual events and the pandemic, right? Today we are able to do, of course, a Zoom, Facebook Live like this, which is, again, very basic, right? But we are also able to run platforms, okay, virtual event platforms with X number of people, as many, 5,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 50 lakhs, as many people, right? And these people get a experience, and today I will say this, which is actually better than a physical event. 6 months ago, my statement on this would have been, which is almost as good as a physical event. Today, my statement has changed. Okay. It is better than a physical event because other than the touch, which is what event is supposed to be or be all about, there is no touch and feel on a virtual platform. No touch, no feel, no taste, right? But the experience of seeing, meeting people, the experience of seeing products on a virtual platform. Today, we have, I can safely say this, Vivek, Shivangi can correct me, there are at least 60 plus virtual event platforms in India. Okay. And we have people from the Silicon Valley of the world, okay, who come to India, who are shopping for virtual events in India. I'm so proud making that statement, Bala. Okay, I'm so proud. 90% of the events in the virtual events that are happening at Silicon Valley happen with Indian partners. What more can I tell you about? What more can I tell you about technology and the India?
That's wonderful. That is really fascinating. But okay, if you are to look at the negative side of it, what is the problem bothering the event management industry?
The industry.
I'm talking in terms of talent, in terms of work, in terms of that.
Anybody who is willing to work hard, and I'm talking about white collar, hard, okay, white collar artists, event managers, anybody who's willing to work hard and work smart, okay, work hard and work smart being the key word, yeah, is going to make it big in the event industry. There is no doubt about it. But the pandemic, unfortunately, and my heart bleeds when I say this, the blue collar, all your technicians, all the people, the carpenters, the guys who carry all the sound boxes, right? The artists at that level, okay, have suffered very, 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 very badly. Okay, they have suffered very badly, still are suffering. We at the Karnataka Event Management Association have done a few events to collect funds to look into these artists and see how we can support them till such time things come back, not to normal, to the new normal, as I would call it, where things are again back and where these technicians are again able to go out into the market. And I'm very proud to say another thing, Bala, is that yes, markets are opening up, okay, things are moving. And India being the place where the big fat Indian wedding has originated, we spend a lot of money on stuff like that. And this is where people, the technicians, the artists, all of these people really get a lot of it. I mean, let's talk about a guy who's the dhol wala, right? Right. Even our local in Karnataka, the dhol kunita guy. Okay. I mean, these are the guys who have really suffered because their money comes on a daily basis from a show that they do. They earn 500,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 bucks a day. Right. Okay. Now, where has that income gone in the last 18 months? So we need to support these people. Again, I'm glad markets have opened up, weddings have opened up. Corporates will take a little more time, perhaps, maybe March, April next year. And then we are totally back in business with a vengeance because all of us have to do extremely well.
What, according to you, is going to be the new normal?
A lot of safety measures, much more than it ever was. Okay, and India, it's, with due respects to my beautiful country that I love so much, we have that chalta hai attitude. Okay, solpa adjust madi gurve agate. So we are inherently those people, you know. We like to take that slip short manner, the shortcut, wherever. That is going to come to an end or has come to an end, right? Because everybody's responsible. COVID has gone. I can say that with some confidence and authority now. But what it has damaged, it has damaged. But what are the learnings are things like this, where the new normal is going to be, people are going to be very careful. Okay, small things like social distancing, masks, etc., etc. One has to be very careful. And apart from from all of this, I think people have learned a very large lesson on saving money, on the financial stability, right? Because a lot of people, and especially in event management, live by the day, right? Uh, we are earning today, we are spending today, we earn one, we spend 1 plus 10% and stuff like that. So this is going to be a very large learning for everybody. And young people specifically, I would tell them, uh, save a little money, not too much. Okay, don't stagnate the money and don't keep too much money in the bank, but save enough money that you're able to last for the next 3 6 months, 1 year in case something goes wrong, right? Okay, because things go wrong, and unfortunately that's the truth about life, and COVID has taught us that things go dramatically wrong.
For people and parents who are skeptical of unconventional jobs, what would you say? Well,
Don't
the whole
put your
idea
kid-
is children want to do things and the parents say no, or the people are skeptical,
you know I face this problem on a daily basis, Bala, on a daily basis. Kids want to get into event management. Parents don't want to. They don't want them to. There's a lot of exposure in event management. Recently, a very somebody who's very close to me and part of Zero In. So there was an assignment happening in Dubai, and the parents said no, they cannot go. Okay, and I said, what a great opportunity is going to get missed. So reach out first to the kids is to convince your parents about what? Convince your parents that they have brought you up well enough. Yeah. And not to get worried because the world out there is bad. There is no changing that. Okay. You can't keep your children under your home all the time. Okay. And here, reaching out to the parents is that have confidence in your kids. Yeah. Because if you don't allow them to fly, they will never ever find themselves. Okay. Otherwise, put them in a 9 to 5 job, keep them at home and do that. Okay. It's not going to work. You're going to have a lot of depression. You're going to have a lot of things that will go wrong when you do things like that. Okay. I am saying event management is a very safe industry. And I'm going to say that one more time. Event management is a very safe industry. It is very safe for the girls. And this is for the parents of all the girls who are out there. Okay. Today, I have in my organization more ladies, women, more females than men. And that's always been the case. Let me tell you that for the past 29 years. Okay. And all of them are safe. But if somebody wants to do something which is, I won't say wrong, which is out of the ordinary, which is wrong as per the parents, then nobody can stop them, right? Because we believe in event management that after the age of 16 or 17, you are an individual, right? You are an individual who makes your own choices and your own decisions. And if parenting is about holding that back, then I'm sorry, I don't agree with the parenting. Yeah, because maximum till the age of 12 or 14 or 15, you have ingrained certain values into your children, after which they're on their own. For which I actually appreciate the America. Okay, I really do. Okay. By the time the kid is 17 or 18, they are thrown out of the house and make it on your own. And again, back in the Americas is the children who are living with the kids are mainly from this beautiful country called India. Okay, so this discussion can go off on another tangent altogether.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, for all the participants who are there out there, any questions to Arvind? And I want you guys to ask questions because that will answer a lot of doubts, which a lot of other people will have. Any doubts, guys? You can be open, ask anything.
Right, I have a question in mind. So, from a client's perspective, what are the top 3 qualities a client looks for an event manager?
Wow, that's a very nice one.
Yeah.
And let us look at the top three qualities. I think the
Yes, top three.
first quality I think would be trust, right? That the event manager should be able to trust. I mean, the client should be able to trust the event manager. So after trust comes delivery, which is a part of the trust. You need to put yourself on mute. So after trust comes delivery. That is because our event management is this is a live event. All the events that we do are live. It's not like a studio recording where you made a mistake, you take two, take three, take 10. It's not making a film. It's a live thing. There cannot be a mistake, because if there's a mistake, that mistake is on camera. It is there, it is in your face. Everything has to work in precision, right? From the cue sheet, which starts at 2 minutes to 6 p.m. like it did today, or 2 minutes to 5 p.m. like it did today. And this will get over at before 6 p.m., right? What exactly is happening at every moment of this 62 minutes that we are talking about, right? So quality, of course, is a give in, okay? And that is the third point I would say is quality. That's a given. That if there is no, I mean, quality is a given. You are an event manager, you are going to deliver quality, right? There's no doubt about that. So these are the three things I can talk about. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything else somebody's got? But More, coming that from you was very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Shivangi, I'm sure you got some questions. Event management in small towns vis-a-vis a place like Bangalore.
Yes, I do have a question, but it's not related to event management, if I may ask.
Yeah,
If
sure,
not,
go for it.
if not event management, then what you have done? Like,
You're talking to me, Shivangi? If not event management, what would I have done in my life?
yeah,
Oh, so inherently, thank you, Shivangi. That's a very interesting question. Uh, and I've thought a lot about this. Uh, I'm inherently a very lazy guy. And if I was given half a choice, I would be a couch potato. I would be sitting on my couch watching Netflix and doing all those kind of things which basically meant I did nothing. Okay. And therefore there is nothing else I could have done in my life other than event management. Okay. Uh, because event management has made me the person, and I drive people, Shivangi, you know that, right? I drive people. I don't allow people to fall sick. Hey, you are not allowed to fall sick, Shivangi Chhabra. Yeah, you have to be back to work, right? So there is nothing else I can think of, because I have event running inside my bloodstream. Okay. And for me, everything is an event. This is an event. Births are events. Deaths are events, most importantly. And, I must say something about the death being an event. Somewhere in life, about 8, 10, 12 years ago, I wanted to start a company that dealt with deaths. Okay. And there you are, Shivangi. So that dealt with deaths. I always look for a partner in what I do. And among my peer group and my friends and people whom I knew, nobody came up, okay, to say that, hey, Arvind, let's go for it. Because death is a normal thing. And today I'll say in this country, a lot of old people are there whose children live abroad, okay, who send them money. What happens when one of this father or mother honks off? Okay, it's mayhem. Okay, and that is when a event company that deals in deaths steps in, because end of the day, ladies, gentlemen, the reality is that too is an event. You require, depending, you're Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Sardar, Sikh, Isai, Telugu, Tamil, whatever you may be, right? There are certain things that need to be done immediately, right? You need a pandit, a purohit, whatever it may be called in whichever religion, right? So all of this is required. So everything is an event, Shivangi, for me. and I just love the life I lead. And I would have been a couch potato. Okay, my dad did not leave me enough money to be a couch potato. Otherwise, I may have still been one. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, what drives you, Arvind?
Passion. Passion.
Okay, let's define the word passion. I'm sick of hearing the word passion, honestly.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. And you know, I'm glad you asked me that question. Okay. You have to inherently be that person who loves living life. Which part of life do you love? A lot of people say that, hey, I want to drink throughout the day. Somebody will say that, hey, I want to do some weed or some marijuana throughout the day. So be it. And that's what I say. So be it. Personally, I don't do all of these things. Okay. Somebody asked me, hey, Arvind, how can you be so high from morning to evening if you have not taken something? I say, that is what I define as passion. Because the Lord has given you a life, and it is only one life, and there is only so much time in this life, okay? If you are able to set a goal, whatever that goal may be, I want to earn 5 crores, 100 crores, 200 crores. The goal may be that I want to have a drink on a yacht in New York, okay? Make out a bucket list, guys, right? That is your passion. Like I said recently, and I'm going to say this again, there are only 2 important days in your life, people. 1, the day you're born. 2, the day you know why. And the day you know why you're born and what is the purpose, passion will come automatically.
I totally love it. I'm glad I invited you for the show. I'm seeing a side of you I've never seen before. You know, as an entrepreneur, okay, there's one thing that today, you know, entrepreneurship is the thing. You finish college, 3 of you join together, form a company, and you call yourself the managing director. And then after that, you lose out on everything. I mean, a lot of talent has gone down the drain because of that. You know, because nobody wants to work for anybody anymore. And I had somebody tell me recently, I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I said, okay, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? And the answer was, I can take off when I want to take off. Okay. And everybody looks, I mean, through my journey, everybody looked at me and says, Pala, it's so nice to be a boss. You know, you can take off when you want to take off. I said, please try. So what's your advice to these kids? And that's 99% of people who think, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, you can take off when you want to take off. I haven't had a holiday for the last 20 years. You know? So,
my erstwhile mother-in-law, okay, the mother of my ex-wife, we used to have a lot of fights. But I'll say hats off to her for one thing that she told me. You know, when I was getting married and I was very, very young at that time. She said, "Beta, tum business kar rahe ho." May I speak in Hindi?
yeah, I'm sure we won't understand.
She says that, son, you want to do business. Just remember one thing about business. You have no time that you can call your own. And the second, and which I think is more important, that she told me, whether you're earning or you're not earning, you're going to be busy all the time.
How much I can relate to that? Okay. I'm sure. We are busy. We are very busy. You know?
You're busy all the time.
Yes.
Your money may or may not be. So somebody says that, hey, why don't you go and take up a job? Because for the kind of time that you're spending on your business, you would be bloody earning money at least, right? Yeah, there you are. Because an entrepreneur is thinking all the time. The entrepreneur is getting ideas all the time. What do I do next? How do I do it? Okay. Who are the kind of people I need to get involved? Because that, Bala, is passion.
Okay, we got just 10 more minutes to go. So share some interesting memories, fun episodes, learning, incidents, which are very, very strong through your journey?
This is dicey. I want to share something, but I don't know if this is a good forum. But I will. So there is a very thin line between good and bad. I'm not saying my idea of good and bad is different than your idea of good and bad. It's very different. But there's a very thin line. And that thin line comes from your upbringing. And this is reaching out to all the parents. Okay. That good and bad thin line. And it's a very thin line because you can keep crossing that line, and it becomes a habit and then it becomes bad. I was doing an event in Cochin, okay, for 171 dealers of a product. And they were all men, right? It was a very big billing for me, okay? It was about 68 lakhs, I remember that, okay, the entire billing. And we had a 3-day conference, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. So we had got some singers and some dancers from Mumbai, and a lot of entertainment and lots of fun and lots of games, and apart from the conference and everything. On the last night of this conference, there was a huge party at the pub, and everybody was there. The CEO was there. Everybody was there. And all these dancers and all these girls were there, and there were a lot of people there, right? At some point of time, after many a drink, the boss comes up to me and says something to me, which I really cannot repeat over here, but says something derogatory about one of the girls, okay? And the answer to which I said no, okay? I said no, because that is not my job, right? That is not my job. That was the day I thanked and cursed my parents for the upbringing that they had given. I thanked them because I was proud that I could say no. I cursed them because I could have earned some extra money, right? And when that did not go through, I lost 20 lakhs, okay, because my bill did not get passed. So this is event management, people. And for the parents out there, okay, teach your children the line. And that line is very thin. If they have understood that line, be it drugs, be it sex, be it whatever it may be, right? But basic, Hindi में बोलते हैं उसूल, okay? क्या बोलते हैं English में? Yeah? So, if that basic understanding of who you are and what you have to do, okay, that is very important. So that's one incident I wanted to recount. We can talk
fun
about
incident, fun thing, crazy fun, where you went, panic all over.
We did an event at the Manipal County for about 12,000 people. Okay, perhaps the largest event I have done in my life. Okay, commercially, in terms of sheer number of people in one place. Just planning. For me, the planning of the event is the high. The event happens in any place, right? So during the planning, this is interesting. So the client said we have people from all age groups, all different sexual orientation, and all of that, right? And how do we take this one forward? We divided that entire space into 3 zones. We had a zone where we had a band playing, okay? So that was playing all kinds of retro and hip hop and up to the new music. Then we had a area which was a DJ area where people just could drink and dance, right? A little away from this area was an area where we had some Sher Shairi and Qawwali. Okay, Vivek is nodding his head. Yeah, so that Sher Shairi and Qawwali. Now the biggest challenge as an event manager was, All these three areas are not so far away from each other. How are you going to ensure that the sound, Bala, I think you did that show for us.
I don't remember. I've done so many.
I think I remember this. Yeah, you brought all those large things with the cameras and all
cranes
that.
And all that.
Cranes and cameras and all. Yes. I think you had done that show for us. So, how's the sound not going to interrupt? And I'll tell you, you're talking about technology, right? The best sound engineers are here in Bangalore. The way they placed the speakers, okay, the way the whole delays and everything else was done, it was phenomenal, Bala. I mean, you sit in this area and you are on top of the world, you're listening to this. 20 steps away, you cannot hear this, you can hear that. Okay? And that, I thought, and this event was what? 2006 perhaps, okay, or 7. I think that was a marvel. Okay, what we went through there. Yeah. So my high is not out of the fun or the games. I think this is the high that you're able to achieve something, and the client is like, and I cannot show this to the client beforehand because there is no dry run. Okay, in an event of this nature, 12,000 people, no untoward incident. Okay, security beefed up. People had to be where they are, bags, this, that. I had 120 people working for this event. Okay, on ground, 120 people, which includes the sound light technicians, our teams of event management people, everything for 12,000 people. Very well pulled off. Pat on the back, Arvind Sabhaney. I'm very proud of you.
Nice. Yeah, I know what it feels like. Yeah, we have been through crazy journeys. I think lots to look back and smile, and laugh off most of the times. Yeah, we're running out of time. I think we're on schedule. That's nice. And that was lovely. Like I told you, I'm glad I did this with you because I saw a different Arvind here. Very, very different. And yeah, that's all. You have any last things to say before we say bye-bye?
Again, reaching out to the parents. Event management is a lot to do with the so-called wrongs in life. I have worked with all the liquor brands. Okay, I worked with every single. I launched in south of India, Breezer. We did a lot of work for Bacardi. We done work with Seagram's, DIHO, and all of that, right? And liquor requires promotion. Liquor brands come to event managers because there is something called the TINA factor, right? And I can speak about that for a minute. Because in India, liquor brands and tobacco brands are not allowed to advertise, right? So TINA stands for there is no alternative. They have to come to event managers to be able to promote products of theirs, right? So this is the reality. So if you're allowing, and I will use that word, your children to get into event management, right? Be clear that they will be doing all kind of work, right? And that work will also include in the early days, cleaning bathrooms and carrying boxes and stuff like that, right? It's not a glamorous industry. It is not a glamorous industry. It's not a glamorous industry, right? It's a lot of hard work and a lot of mind work. On that note, Bala, thank you so much. And if there is anybody who's interested in making a career, I'm not saying get a job, in making a career in event management, do visit our website, which is teami.org. I'll repeat that. It's teami.org. Go to our Instagram page. You will see the kind of people who are associated with TMI. You want a career in event management? Come to TMI. Thank you, Bala.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you very much. It was wonderful. We'll catch up soon. And let's keep in touch. I need you to spread this awareness and this knowledge to more people across the globe. Okay. Thank you very much and all the very best. Have a good evening.